11 Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Live from London, England, it's the Simulation Football League's 13th season, and we're in Week 7. We've hit the halfway point of the season and started to turn for home as two playoff hopefuls need big wins today as the New Orleans Pharaohs face off against the London Knights. Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you watching on 11 Sports and 11 Sports Next. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Michael Chirillo, and I'm very happy to be joined in the booth today by Stephen Hacker. Stephen, two teams, about even records, playoffs in their eyes, but need a win here today with tough games on the horizon.
Yeah, both of these teams are really looking to make a strong push here and reaffirm their identity. And I would expect, London's going to want to get the ball into the hands of Reggie Streeter a lot. And, for New Orleans, I think that they're trying to find the rhythm in the passing game, stay true to their identity as well. So we'll just see how the game plans work out and which team can get a win this week.
We are down to the field for the coin toss. And don't go anywhere. Kickoff is next. New Orleans will kick the ball away first. Their kicker is Zen Lee. Back to return for London is Donnie Hands. He stands at his own goal line, and the kick is away, and it's game on here in London at Queensway Stadium, taken from just outside the 10-yard line, and Hands is wrapped up at the 30. Let's take a look at your key players when London has the football. Their quarterback is Rob Roby. Their running back is Reggie Streeter. Their wide receivers are Donnie Hands and James Hands, and the tight end is Trevor Farrell. They'll start going right to left. Cross your screen to the first quarter. Roby alone under center with four wide receivers. Passes on first down underneath to James Hands. James Hands gets a block. James Hands gets away down the side. Across his midfield and is into New Orleans territory on the first play from scrimmage, all the way up to the 43.
Yeah, great quick timing route there by the Hands team. Good job by Roby getting that thing out, letting Hands make a big play downfield.
And this New Orleans defense is going to have to play a lot better than they did last week to contain this London offense, which has a dynamic mix of Roby and Streeter, who dots the offset eye for his first time on the field. He'll touch the ball for the first time and get a block and get a second block and break a tackle, and he's down the field to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, put it on the board. Touchdown, London. 2 plays, 70 yards. London strikes first.
A great block up front by the fullback Evan Wood to bring Streeter to the outside, and then one-on-one he broke the safety's tackle and just hit pay dirt early in this game, giving London all the momentum, and a great play by Reggie Streeter.
Well, I hope that's a wake-up call for the Pharaohs on defense, because they got burned in 2 consecutive plays. That's Reggie Streeter's 11th touchdown of the season, his 8th on the ground. And the extra point from Jose Noe is up and good. And with 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go in this afternoon's first quarter, it's London 7, New Orleans nothing. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. And a fast start, Stephen, and now New Orleans has to respond in kind.
Yeah, you don't usually see teams score so quickly out the gate, especially when they prefer to run the ball. But a big chunk play for Streeter, and yeah, now you'd like to see New Orleans match the pace. You know, they do have the weapons also on the offense to score quickly. Oh no!
Oh, it's a fumble! It's fumbled! The opening kickoff is fumbled, and London has recovered!
Wow.
Charlie Balmer jumps on the loose ball, and it goes from bad to worse for New Orleans at the start.
I'm speechless. I mean, that's just the worst thing to happen to you if you're a New Orleans Pharaoh player, and it just happened. And London gets the ball with great field position. Looks like they're going to be about the 25, yeah, the 23-yard line, so almost in the red zone. This is this is starting out ugly.
Aaron Arrington is the return man for New Orleans, and now Roby and company back to work. A handoff goes to Streeter up the middle. He's stopped for a loss or two. Here are the star players to watch out for on the defensive side for New Orleans. Safeties, Kappa Jones and Tank Bennett. Corners, Aaron Arrington and Rolliman Hood. Linebacker, Levon Irvine. And defensive tackle, Ray West. From the 22-yard line, New Orleans really crowds the box, but only rushes 4. Here's a throw out to Streeter. Streeter makes a man miss, makes a second man miss, and nobody tackles him as he walks into the end zone. Put it on the board. Reggie Streeter has 2 touchdowns in the opening 4 minutes.
And just absolutely on fire. Reggie Streeter must have ate his Wheaties this morning because, I mean, he's just absolutely shredding the New Orleans defense right now. New Orleans needs to wake up. They got to figure out what's going on. They got to, I know that fumble on the kick return is not exactly something you plan or would expect to see on the field, but you got to overcome those obstacles. And, now you're down. It's, 2-possession game, and New Orleans really needs to come out firing on offense. It's going to be their first time to put their offense out, but down 14, it's tough.
And what's going through the mind of Xander Gold right now, who's the New Orleans quarterback? You haven't even touched the ball yet. You're already down 14-0.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, that's not doing your quarterback any favor. Like you were saying, I haven't even touched the ball yet, coach, and I'm down 14. So, but they do have the weapons. They can overcome this this deficit. They have good wide receivers, good running back, and a great quarterback. So got to get them on the field, and your defense has to stop giving up these points.
Here's a long kickoff from no way. Arrington spins and hangs on to the ball this time up to the 30. Let's meet the New Orleans starting offense. Quarterback Xander Gold, wide receivers Matt Wolf, Deezer Powell, and the brand new signing John Jameson. Running back is Logan Jack, and the tight end is the former Houston Hyena, Yassine Clifton. Handoff up the middle to Jack. He'll lose a yard as the defense for London gets good penetration. Here are the stars to watch out for on defense. For the Knights, safeties Nathan Blake and Jeff Malinishan. Corners Dean Maddox and Evan Arthur. Linebackers DeAndre Washington and Slyn Shady, and defensive tackle William Davidson. And on second down and 11, Xander Gold is in the gun, and he's going to get a free play. He's going to spin away from pressure and go down. It doesn't really matter because of the offsides, but William Davidson making his presence felt early in this one.
Yeah, it's a good job by Gold. Uses cadence to draw the defender into the neutral zone. But, whenever you get that free play like that, I'd rather you not take a sack. Go ahead and while you're getting hit, throw that thing out there and see if one of your players can make a superstar play. But I digress. Now take the penalty and see what happens here on second down.
Second down and 6. Gold yet to throw the ball. He will hand it off again to the fullback this time. That is Brock Targan. And he picks up 2. It's third and a manageable 4.
Yeah, and expect DeAndre Washington, the linebacker for the London Knights, to make a lot of plays in the middle for them. He's on the season. He's got 55 total tackles, which I believe is good for about 10th. 1 sack and 11 tackles for loss.
He is a rookie, DeAndre Washington. 10th pick in the most recent draft. Gold hit as he threw, and he almost threw a pick. He was looking for Yassine Clifton down the field, and it was incomplete, defended by Nathan Blake, and it'll be a 3-and-out for the New Orleans Pharaohs. And not to bring up a sour memory for Pharaohs fans, but this is starting to look a lot like their game last week against the Queen City Corsairs. And if you weren't watching that one, you missed a 41-0 drubbing from the team from Buffalo. Fair catch called for by Donnie Hands at the 29-yard line. Back to work, up 14-0 with 7:48 to go in the opening quarter. There's the chat. If you want to get involved in the chat room, chat with us here in the broadcast booth and the rest of the players, coaches, and fans of the SFL, go to 11 Sports Next. That's Twitch TV/11 Sports Next to join the chat. First down and 10 for London from their own 29. It's going to be a pass for Roby. Shot over the middle to James Hands for 4 yards. And if you want to know what you're watching right now, this is the Simulation Football League. We're the first ever controllerless esport in the world, and you can go from the couch to the field, as you can see how to get it done on your screen right now. Visit simulationfl.net, join the Discord server, introduce yourself, let the rest of the league know who you are. Next Wednesday, your next opportunity to sign with a team. You could be on the field next week as Roby throws down the field, and it's intercepted! Man, New Orleans really needed that. It was intended for James Hands down the field, taken away by Kappa Jones.
Yes, free safety Kappa Jones steps in front of that route. Great play, and it's exactly what New Orleans needs. You know, they need to get the ball out of London's hands and get their offense out there so that they can score some points.
And maybe a little bit of momentum early in the game for New Orleans, because not much has been going right so far, but a chance to turn it around right now. Xander Gold under center with 2 behind. Steps up in the pocket, throws to the far side. It is caught, and turning upfield is Deezer Powell for 8 yards.
Yeah, Deezer Powell's a really explosive receiver. I like the route here early in this drive. Go ahead and run a consistent route, kind of get your timing right, and good job by Xander Gold. Step up in the pocket, make the throw. And credit to the London Knights defense, because they were there kind of in position, just couldn't quite make the play. So again, the great throw by Gold, who's last year's offensive runner-up to offensive player of the year. So he can make the tight throws in tight windows.
Gold throws to the far side again. That's caught. First down into London territory. DeAndre Washington makes the tackle, but not before Deezer Powell picks up another catch on the far sideline.
Yeah, and these guys know how to get the ball moving. I like this. This is probably one of my favorite wide receiver quarterback pairings in the league is Xander Gold and Deezer Powell.
Powell leads this team in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. Gold, 4-step drop, looks to Powell again. He scoops it up one-handed for 3 yards. And now they've run that same play to the far sideline 3 plays in a row, but it's worked every time.
Yeah, and sometimes I think they like to do this to lull opposing defenses to sleep. And then, everybody kind of looking Deezer Powell's way, and then all of a sudden they're going to throw a deep post maybe to Matt Wolf. We'll see if they elect to go for that right here.
4 receivers. 2 to each side for the New Orleans Pharaohs on 2nd and 7. To the far side, pass is cut by Logan Jack, and he's buried under after a 2-yard gain. McDonald was there. Avon Arthur was there. And it's going to set up a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Logan Jack is kind of a Swiss Army knife for this Pharaohs offense. He runs the ball, he catches the ball really well, he does whatever they ask of him to do, and he does a really good job at both.
Logan Jack in his 2nd SFL season over the middle of floater is caught by Clifton. The tallest man on the field has the softest hands, and New Orleans is in business down to the London 23.
And just Great touch by quarterback Xander Gold. Watch this ball leave his hands. Just whoop right over the linebacker's head, right underneath the safety. Only the wide receiver could catch it. So a great job by Clifton to bring that in and get the first down.
I mentioned Clifton, the tallest player on the field. He is 6'7", 265 from a tight end. Gold has pressure in his face, but gets it to Powell for 4 yards on the near side. Or to Clifton, excuse me, for 4 yards. And Yassine Clifton has really been the second receiving threat after Powell so far in this game.
Yeah, again, New Orleans has a lot of options they can use on offense. So I'm glad to see them moving down the field here, getting a couple of first downs, and now they're in the red zone. So I'd like to see them finish off this drive with a touchdown.
4 wide outs, plus the tight end to the far side. Gold goes, and Gold almost has a first down as Powell couldn't quite turn upfield. It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 13. And what they've been doing is really stopping the clock after every play because everything's going to the sideline outside that pass over the middle to Yassine Clifton. Now they're in a run-heavy formation here. They're going to hand it to Logan Jack. He's going to break a tackle and get a first down. Gets the 1 yard he needed down to the 12. And they'll be in business here. 3 plays. It's still early in the game to get it in the end zone. Make sure to like the SFL on Instagram at SimulationFL and give our partner Nation's Best Football a like while you're there. And also follow the SFL on Facebook and Twitter at SimulationFL as well. Never miss an update or moment of the action. Here's Logan Jack, and Logan Jack gets buried under at the line of scrimmage by Davidson.
Yeah, the
2nd and 10.
London Knights are really aggressive getting into the backfield and making plays. So that's a good job by the Knights there to hold them to no gain. Almost got them for a loss.
Gold to throw. Over the middle. Caught inside the 1 and not into the end zone. Deezer Powell couldn't quite stretch it across. But oh boy, the Pharaohs are set up. 1st and goal from inside the 1.
Yeah, it looked like the corner wrapped up his arms. I think Powell was trying to stretch out, but good job by the corner to hold his arms in and just drag him down. But now it's 1st and goal. 4 attempts to get a touchdown.
This is prime Logan Jack territory, but he's buried under again. William Davidson was there, along with Malcolm Reynolds.
Yeah, and this is when the pressure's on. They're on the goal line, 2-yard loss. That's a great job by the Knights. Can they make a goal line stand here?
Would not put it past them with all the talent they have at defense and linebacker. Gold's going to throw to the near side. It's caught by Powell in the end zone. Put it on the board. Deezer Powell ends the drive the way he started it, a catch on the sideline. And the New Orleans Pharaohs have hit pay dirt for the first time in 5 quarters.
And Powell was all alone on that route. So, great job by Powell to run a tight route and create the separation. So it was an easy throw for Xander Gold.
The kicker for New Orleans is Zen Lee, and he will be out to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. London struck first, but New Orleans is fighting back. It's Knights 14, Pharaohs 7. This is the SFL, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Welcome back to Queensway in London, England. Michael Trillo, Stephen Hacker on the call for this one. New Orleans trails London 14-7. They're on the board and now looking for their defense to make another stand after the interception on London's last drive. Here is Donnie Hands looking to break away, and he gets wrapped up at the 32-yard line. It's been a high-octane start to this game, Steven. A lot of points, and it's time for New Orleans' front seven to start stepping up.
Yeah, I'd like to see either a 3-and-out or try to generate a turnover here and get your offense back out there, because they look, Xander Gold looks like he's heating up.
They will stack the box and blitz, but the run goes right up the middle and right through everybody. Reggie Streeter has a step. It's a foot race, and he beats the last man. Reggie Streeter, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, put it on the board again.
Taking it to the streets. I mean, Reggie Streeter has probably maybe 5 carries, but definitely is pretty close to the century mark today here, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, the guy is just exploding here in the first quarter.
And 2 long touchdowns as well. This one, if I can do my math correctly, from 68 yards out.
So he's definitely over the century mark.
So he is now over 1,000 yards rushing for the season. Came into the game with 955. So congrats to Reggie on a fantastic season so far. And here is the kicker, No Way Out again for the 3rd time to try and make it 21-7. Kick is up. It is good. And London takes a 21-7 lead. One play, 68 yards. Can New Orleans respond? Find out next. This is the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Back at Queensway in London, England, and the London Knights have started to turn up the heat. It's now 21-7 after another long touchdown run by Reggie Streeter. No Way kicks the ball away, and now Aaron Arrington has another chance to return from his own 10-yard line. He's going to spin away from one tackle and then be buried under by the London special teams to the 28-yard line. And I'm sure he's got the fumble earlier in the back of his mind. There is the chat at twitch.tv/11sportsnext. If you want to join in on the conversation, chat with us here in the booth and the rest of the SFL family, get on over to twitch.tv/11sportsnext. 1st and 10 for New Orleans. They try to respond. Here is Jack, loses a yard off the left side. As you see Reggie Streeter coming into the game, far and away the leader in rushing yards of the SFL. It's not even close between him, T-Roy Gaines, and Keith Swearingen, and he is going to widen that gap just based on his first quarter performance.
Yeah, the guy's having a dominant season. I mean, it looks like the early season MVP thus far. I mean, just has been an absolute monster every game.
Good block, but Logan Jack can't get free for more than 3 yards, and it's going to be 3rd down and a long 8 to go. Just under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. It's felt like forever, and we're still in the first quarter because there's been so much scoring.
Yeah, so many possessions. The ball has switched teams so many times that it feels like we're well into this game.
Gold throws, and wide open is the receiver on the far sideline. That is John Jameson for New Orleans. He was just signed this week. So we put up the graphic earlier from couch to the field. That could be you next week making a big catch.
Yeah, wide open.
As you can see, Evan Wood and John Jameson, the two signings this week that are in this game, and you can see all the players that have been signed to teams just this week. They saw the game on 11 Sports, they joined the Discord, and now they're on the field. Go to simulationfl.net if you want to join them next week. Here's a pass over the middle, and Yassine Clifton uses all 6'7" plus of his body to make that catch and move the chains.
Yeah, he's a big guy out there, and again, Xander Gold's got a great arm, so light coverage, throw it up there where only your receiver can make the play. So it's a good play design. It's this game's not out of hand yet. You're still in this ball game. So I like the approach here from the Pharaohs.
Gold back to pass, plenty of pocket time over the middle, caught again down the field. Xander Gold feels a sense of urgency, and he hits Matt Wolf for the first time today.
Yeah, and the first target for Wolf, and I feel like London's kind of slacking off, maybe playing a little loose on defense. I'm used to kind of seeing their corners being hard hitting guys, and right now they're giving up big plays, which for me and in my experience is atypical of what London defense will do.
Look how far the corners are playing off the line. Here's Logan Jack, who almost sheds one tackle, but will pick up 8 yards. Slyn Shady was the man to drag him down, and that's the end of the first quarter. London's got a boatload of points. They got 21 of them, but New Orleans is trying to claw its way back. It's the SFL, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Stay with us. Today's Simulation Football League on 11 Sports is presented by APM Music, production music library and custom music house, and brought to you in part by Fuel Beyond Imagination. Visit the all-new SFLinteractive.net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL. And by Media Tech Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots all season long provided to you by AirViews, united by drones. Visit airviews.com. That's AIRVUZ.com to see more drone footage. Some beautiful shots of London, England, and the surrounding areas as we get back to work here in Queensway. Michael Torello, Stephen Hacker with you. After a marathon of a first quarter, we have hit the second 11 minutes. Here is Logan Jack up the middle, swims between 2 defenders, and gets a first down inside the red zone to the 13.
Yeah, and I think they're going to need to get Jack involved a little bit too. Their passing game is working; they're moving the chains really well. But you also need to add a layer into that your offense. Keep the defense honest. You don't want them to just commit to the pass and then start picking you off. So I think it's good to keep Jack involved in your offense.
Well, no Logan Jack on the field. It's 5 wide, and everybody spread out here on 1st and 10. Xander Gold, plenty of time. Throws to the
Great
back of the end
throw.
zone. Wide open is Deezer Powell. He's got his second touchdown of the day. Put it on the board.
And I love the awareness. Again, Xander Gold, last season's runner-up to Offensive Player of the Year, recognizes the defense. Look at that, wide open. You can't leave a star wide receiver like Deezer Powell that open because that's pay dirt every time. These guys can do that in their sleep.
Just like on the practice field, Gold to Powell for the 5th time this season means New Orleans is only down by 7, pending the extra point by Zen Lee. Kick is on the way and good. So at 10 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the first half, it's London 21, New Orleans 14. And the second verse has to be the same as the first. When you're talking about the New Orleans defense, you got to stop Reggie Streeter.
Yeah, those big gouge plays that he's providing, he's got 2 big runs. I think both were over 50 yards for touchdowns. So you got to stop that. You can't let Streeter keep doing that to you because your offense is coming out and they're playing really, really well today. So you need your defense to match that tempo and give your team an ability to win a game and come out strong because London's a strong opponent. Like you said, both teams want to make the playoffs. So this is a quality win for both teams.
And we are just beginning Week 7 action in the Simulation Football League. A pair of games at 2:30 Eastern. Tulsa at Denver and Oklahoma City at Seattle. And then tonight, it's Houston at Carolina, Baltimore at San Francisco, and Queen City at Vancouver. Talk about a team on an upswing. The Vancouver Legion have been playing really well the last couple of weeks. Here is a pass over the middle complete. And getting 5 yards on first down is Trevor Farrell, the tight end for London. That's his first target of the day.
Yeah, he was a wide receiver converted tight end. Maybe a little heavy for a wide receiver, but short for a tight end. So I think he's a good mixture. Maybe he's just a receiving tight end, a good option off the edge for the London Knights.
His first season in London, spent time in Indianapolis and Vancouver before this. Here's a handoff. Reggie Streeter breaks it on tackle in the backfield, and there he goes again. There he goes again. Reggie Streeter, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Put it on the board. Hat trick of first half touchdowns that are over 50 yards for Reggie Streeter.
Mama, that's that man. I mean, Reggie Streeter is taking it to the streets today. Just absolutely on fire here. Every time he touches the ball, hitting the backfield, breaks the tackle, and still takes it, 60-something yards to the house. Just undeniable today.
If you're Tank Bennett, you've watched the backside of Reggie Streeter go by you now 3 times, and you cannot stop him. And now on again for the extra point is Jose Noe, and he's happy with the way things are going. He's on the field a lot. He's getting used to kick extra points.
Yeah, getting a good workout today. Chip shots, so that, probably a field goal kicker, his favorite spot is just right here, a little extra point. It's easy to make.
New Orleans has no answer for Reggie Streeter. Can they stop him and come back in this game? Find out next. This is the SFL, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Back at Queensway in London, England, and this takes shootout to a whole new level. It's 28 14, and we're not even halfway through the second quarter as Arrington returns another kick out to the 25-yard line. He's probably tired of returning kicks at this point.
Yeah, 42 points, 42 total points in about 11 and a half minutes or so. So if this continues, I mean, we could be breaking all kinds of records here today.
And also, we could be here for a long time. Remember how first quarter was? It was over 40 minutes. First down and 10 for New Orleans. Long drop, long pass. Gold going deep. It's knocked away, intended for Deezer Powell. Well covered that time on the backside by Even Arthur.
Yeah, I like the shot downfield. That's been working for the Pharaohs here today. And finally, there was some good coverage on the outside. So, Even Arthur, I think he's a good corner. Both of these corners, Dean Maddox and Even Arthur for the Knights, are good quality cornerback. So I was a little surprised that New Orleans has been moving the ball so well through the air on him.
Second and 10, Gold again goes downfield, and that pass is caught over the middle by Matt. Right at midfield, they'll give him the 49-yard line. And again, deep strike from New Orleans. This time it pays off.
And that's one of the routes that I say to look out for against New Orleans. This route, this post to Matt Wolf, is really dangerous, and their offense thrives off of it. Whenever that play is working for them, they have so many other routes that can hurt you and move the chains, but then they take that big play with Wolf, and if that's working, they're going to score points.
Gold underneath to Wolf again for 5. Good aggressive defense there to bring him down. And now, New Orleans, I just saw something interesting in chat. Xander Gold in chat says if we haven't fumbled the kick return on the first drive, this could be a tie ball game. And yes, because both teams have scored on basically every possession. And here's Logan Jack. He's got a big run too. First down and more inside London territory to the 34-yard line. And he doesn't have the speed that Streeter does, but he has a lot of shiftiness inside.
Yeah, maybe doesn't provide that same home run that Reggie Streeter can provide. But again, he's a jack of all trades. Some of the things that Logan Jack can do really well, maybe Streeter struggles at just a little bit. Now, again, the home run, big play out of the backfield is pretty much Streeter alone. But Logan Jack is definitely a quality running back, a guy I'd like to have on my team.
Gold out to Jack, one-handed spinning catch. He'll pick up 9. And forgive me, that's not Logan Jack. That's Brock Targan, the fullback, who picks up 9, sets up second down and 1, and gets out of bounds, stops the clock, 7:56 to go. You see the chat on your screen. You want to join in the conversation, go to twitch.tv/11sports next to join our chat room and talk to players, coaches, owners, and fans of the Simulation Football League. Second down and 1. Gold under center. Here's a handoff, Logan Jack, and Logan Jack didn't get there. Drilled at the line of scrimmage by Slim Shady, his second tackle of the game.
Yeah, Shady and Washington were both there, both linebackers for the Knights, and that's a tough duo to run again.
And that's maybe why we've seen New Orleans go to the air like they are in another passing formation here. In the gun is Gold. Gold, plenty of time over the middle underneath. Pass caught by Clifton to the 10, and actually to the 14, excuse me. They will go inside the red zone. Clock under 7 minutes to go in the second. And New Orleans has a chance to get within a score before the break.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are digging deep in their playbooks and drawing up some nice plays to keep the opposing defense honest.
Gold under center. He's going to hand it off to Jack. Strong side looking for an opening. He gets the edge. He spins out of a tackle. Logan Jack dives and can't get the first down. He's down at the 6. Was missing the line to gain by 1 yard, and Logan Jack is probably looking at Reggie Streeter and said, hey, I want to be as big a part of this game as you are.
Yeah, that's right. Shiftiness, He's elusive there. Double spin move breaks a tackle, and then it takes a couple of guys at the round table, those knights, to bring him down. Just good second effort. If you keep handing the ball off, you're going to have some short gains, but you also leave the potential for big gains. So again, I like keeping Jack involved for the Pharaohs offense.
A second straight second down and one. Gold floats it. End
Ooh.
zone incomplete. He was looking for Yassine Clifton, who could not keep the feet in bounds. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, just missed on that opportunity. He tried to drop it in over the top of the defense. And you see a challenge flag coming
He's
out.
going to challenge. Head coach Aaron Arrington throwing the flag. And we shall see what the referees has to say about this. Let's take a look at the replay and see if Clifton was indeed in bounds. And let's
I thought
see.
the call was right on the first. Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely right on the field. He's about a foot outside, and it's going to be a pretty easy call for the referee here.
We were just looking for the 1 foot. If he could have drugged the 1 foot, that would have been a touchdown. We only need 1 foot here in the Simulation Football League. So, but I thought, even on real speed, that it looked like he was out of bounds on the catch. But I don't blame him for trying to get the points. But a little bit of a waste there for me.
I mean, it's the first half. Timeouts in the first half don't really mean a lot. I don't mind that challenge, because if you're successful, hey, you get points without having to run another play. Here's 3rd and 1, Gold to the corner of the end zone again, and it's a hat trick of touchdowns for Deezer Powell. Put it on the board. Number 17 is on fire.
And just a trusty, again, a trusty route. This is a timing thing. This is something that they practice year in and year out, all off season, during the season. This is just a timing route, and he was right there. The corner was there. Just a great throw and catch by the Pharaohs.
And now Zen Lee on again to kick the extra point. Kick on the way, up and good. Just over 6 minutes remain in the first half, and New Orleans is trying to come back in this game. They still trail the London Knights 28-21. Welcome back to Queensway. We've got a shootout developing here in London. Michael Cirillo, Stephen Hacker in the booth for this one as Zen Lee kicks it away, and New Orleans has had no answer for Reggie Streeter, who has 3 rushing touchdowns of 50-plus yards in the opening half.
Yeah, and just like you said, Michael, this is a shootout. But it's kind of odd. London is kind of matching their pace. That they put up quite a few points. They're 2nd in the league right now in points for. But down at the other end of that list, number 2 at the bottom is New Orleans. So they're matching London's pace today. So it's been a good output from their offense.
Offset eye on first down, and guess where this ball's going? Right to Reggie Streeter, who breaks a tackle, and he's off to the races again, and he's finally brought down by Tank Bennett. You get him in open space, and you think he's just going to go again. 5 carries, 202 yards.
Just phenomenal. And I know you heard it when they handed the ball off to him. The crowd here across the pond in London just exploded. And I gasped for air because I thought he was going to break another huge play for a touchdown. I mean, just New Orleans having a really hard time stopping the run game, and it's been excitement every time Reggie Streeter has touched the ball today.
Well, at the 4th time of asking, Tank Bennett finally wins the one-on-one with Reggie Streeter and brings him down. Here is Roby going deep. Oh, almost. It was off the hands of the receiver, and that would have been a long touchdown because he had Jones beat on the outside.
Yeah, maybe just a touch underthrown, gave the safety a chance to jump up, use his athleticism to tip it and bat it down. But you're right, man. That was really, really close to being another big play for the night.
Streeter took a play off. Now he's back in the game. And you can see how many black helmets are in the box. 7. And here comes Streeter, and Streeter gets a block, and Streeter's in the open field again. Oh my goodness, it's happened again. 4 rushing touchdowns. There is a penalty flag, so let's hold our breath for a moment and see what it is.
Little too late in the end zone. I think that's a late hit, yeah.
It is on New Orleans against the late hits. A little bit of frustration from Kappa Jones. It's a 4th long touchdown run for Streeter. Put it on the board.
Now, I can't say that I blame him for a little bit of that frustration there. You know, he's tired of chasing this guy. He's tired of this guy getting 6 points. You know, I don't like seeing the penalty, but, you know, maybe it's sending a message trying to rattle Streeter a little bit and get him off his game. Look at that point total right now, Michael. Pending the extra point, but right now we're at 55 total points scored before halftime. We still got 5 minutes before halftime.
Unreal. And the quarters in the SFL are shorter than the quarters in other leagues, and they still got 55 points before halftime.
You know, I don't know if it's a testament to the offensive coordinators or if it's a shot at the defensive coordinators. I don't know if it's just the offensive game plans are working that well or if the defenses are just kind of asleep and things weren't put in place. But either way, it's been exciting. It's been fun to call. Who doesn't like putting up a ton of points?
Arrington back to receive another kickoff return, and he is down at the 27-yard line. Arrington had 8 kickoff returns in New Orleans' blowout loss last week. He's on pace to get a lot more than that today. First and 10 for the Pharaohs, down by 2 scores again. Every time they answer and get within 1, it seems that Reggie Streeter has an answer. So now New Orleans with their own 27. Here is Xander Gold. Gold going to throw out to Logan Jack, and Jack can't turn the corner. He'll lose a yard.
Yeah, just not enough space over there for him to keep his feet in bounds and get positive yards. He had a blocker coming over to help him out, but again, you know, just his momentum dragged him out of bounds, and he loses 1. It'll be interesting to see how, again, that opening kickoff that Aaron Arrington fumbled for the Pharaohs, how much that plays a factor in this game, because right now it's huge.
Well, it'll end up being the turning point of the entire game if it ends up being a less than 1 score game, as Logan Jack can't get away on the outside. Good recovery tackle there by Dean Maddox.
Do they draw up a slant or a post here? Do you see Clifton? That seems to have worked for them for big plays multiple times.
Either that or something to the outside for Deezer Powell, who is at the bottom of your screen, the farthest left of the receivers in the 5-man formation. Gold had nobody open and goes down. First sack of the game for either team, and it's William Davidson that gets it. It'll force the punt out of New Orleans, and this is the first punt since New Orleans' first offensive possession.
Wow. So again, both offenses firing on all cylinders, and finally a punt. See William Davidson there on the league leaders. This is coming into the week, so Davidson had 6, and he just got his 7th sack there.
It's been a good season for Davidson out of the London defense. A punt will give good field position for London. They'll start at their own 43-yard line off the return by Donnie Hant.
So I think Streeter now rushing is up around 250. I think he's got 6 or 7 carries. I think it's safe to say that they want to get him the ball here, but the Pharaohs front 7 and maybe a little bit of help from the safeties, they need to shut him down. Yeah, you see 248 on 6 carries for Reggie Streeter.
Well, Streeter not on the field. It's all Roby here as he's the only one under center. He throws deep, but it's incomplete. He undersold the receiver, Donnie Hands, and Tank Bennett knocked it to the ground.
the Pharaohs seem to be playing very, very good pass. It's interesting that that London's kind of electing to keep passing whenever Streeter has just been phenomenal. I'd like to see him kind of keep handing it to Streeter and let him provide these dynamite plays.
Well, Roby in the gun on 2nd and 10. He's going to throw. He's going to throw deep over the middle. Oh! Behind the defense was James Hands, and Kappa Jones just did enough.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually touched that ball or if it was just the footsteps that rattled Hands just enough to drop it, because I thought it hit James Hands right where it needed to, and just dropped that one and missed out on a big play.
Now 3rd and 10. You can't really call on Streeter in this situation, can you? They're going to go to him out of the flat, and he drops the ball. Well, an empty possession for London, their 2nd of the game. Remember, Roby threw an interception early in the 1st quarter. And the defenses for both teams have finally found a foothold, back-to-back stops. And it's going to be a punt, the 1st of the game from Phil Hunter.
And I like that defensive play call by the Pharaohs. They were there. Had somebody come up with that tip ball, that easily could have been a pick six for the Pharaohs. Just nobody could corral it, and it falls to the grass, and it forces a punt. But I think it was a good defensive play call.
Arrington at the 24-yard line. If you want to get on the field, if you want your name called alongside all of these other players, head to simulationfl.net. Join the Discord server. There you can talk to players, owners, teams, everybody in the SFL. You post a check-in, and then you can be picked up by a team next Wednesday is the next signing period. So get on in there, and you can be on the field next week. Gold under pressure. Gold goes down for the 2nd time in 3 plays.
It looked like Jamie McDonald, the defensive end, got in there, got the first hit on, and then DeAndre Washington follows it up, just makes sure the Gold hits the grass. So, London's been putting pressure on. They've, again, they get a lot of tackles for loss. They generate some sacks. So they're a tough front 7.
Gold on 2nd and 14, throws to Powell. Powell turns the corner and is run out of bounds. 2 yards short of the first down, so a good 12-yard pickup. So they go from 2nd down and very long to 3rd manageable.
Yeah, and a wide variety of plays that you can run from the Pharaohs offense. You can pretty much call whatever you want in the playbook. 3rd and 2, I think Logan Jack on a stretch play or even a swing pass would be nice. You can look for an out route to Powell, which has been money, or even a slant to Yassine Clifton. Dropping that in over the top has been working.
Let's see what they do here. They've got Jack in the backfield, and Logan Jack eludes a tackle in the backfield. He gets a first down out to the 38-yard line. He was tackled by DeAndre Washington, but he moved the chains. We're just about to the 2-minute warning. They will have to snap the ball one more time. There's a 1-second difference between play clock and game clock. So this will be the last play before the 2-minute warning, as it's a bunch formation with 3 receivers right, single left. Gold throws over the middle, incomplete, as Wolf was knocked away from the ball by Dean Maddox.
Interesting decision. I thought down at the bottom of your screen, the lone wide receiver, which was Yassine Clifton, matched up one-on-one with DeAndre Washington. I think that's maybe a matchup you want to exploit a little bit, considering the height difference and the receiving capabilities of Yassine Clifton.
Well, I was wrong. The pass was incomplete, so they're going to have to run another play before the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes, 11 seconds to go. Gold throws to the outside. Powell, incomplete. He was out of bounds. And it'll be 3rd and 10 and another play before the 2-minute warning. And we don't see Powell miss those very often.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Yassine Clifton looked a little bit out of control. Maybe had to reach out just a little bit too far, and just the way he had to reach out changed his gait and took him out of bounds. But yeah, you're right. Normally that's an automatic throw and catch.
3rd and 10. New Orleans really needs this because they would like to score again before the end of the half. Gold down the field, into coverage and incomplete. It was intended for Matt Wolf, and it was knocked away by Nathan Blake, and it'll be a punt for Gordon Grismatis. And if you, the second punt of the game for Gordon Grismatis.
And it was a little unfortunate there because that was the first time New Orleans had really forced London to punt on London's last possession. So if they had just gone down and got 3 points, or done a little bit more, that would have helped their momentum going into the second half tremendously.
We have hit the 2-minute warning. London 35, New Orleans 41. Is there more points in store for us before the break? Find out next. Back at Queensway in London, England. This one has been all offense into the last couple of minutes, where 3 defensive stops in a row have happened, and now the Knights are backed up to their own 29-yard line. Here's Reggie Streeter. He's been the man all day, and he makes another tackle, and 2 and 3 and first down at 44 yards, and another big run, not 44 yards, but up to the 44.
Yeah, it's still a gouging play. 10+ yards on that carry, and Streeter's just it's been a clinic. I mean, he's showing you what how it should look when you're running the ball, effectively. I mean, just big gain after big gain.
Well, unfortunately for New Orleans, it's a clinic on how to not tackle a running back, because he spins out of another tackle and 2, and it's more big yards for London. They use a timeout with 1:18 to go, now in New Orleans territory to the 36-yard line.
And yeah, midfield, trying to get into plus territory. You need one more first down for a field goal before half. But, if I know London right now, they're maybe trying to set up something for one of the Hands brothers, maybe a play action and take a deep shot down the field.
I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try that, but this is Reggie Streeter range, as if anything in this game is to go by. You have 2 timeouts. Why not hand it off to him 1 or 2 more times?
I think London likes to pass out of this formation.
They do indeed, but Roby's going to throw it to Streeter, and there was a block missed in front of him, and Streeter only gets 5. That may be his shortest gain of the day.
Yeah, what a day. 5 is your shortest gain of the day. Wow.
Roby in the up-tempo offense, almost intercepted. It was tipped, and then almost picked by Brian Mills. And the clock stops with 59 seconds to go in the quarter, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting decision. How does London handle this 3rd and intermediate? Do they nope, they're going to throw the ball here. So I like this. Let's see how they handle it. Streeter is lined up at the bottom of your screen.
He is spread out wide as a receiver, so again, a chance to impact the game. They're going to throw. Whoa. Incomplete. Flying in was Tank Bennett to knock the ball away.
Yeah, Tank Bennett was just a monster play. And I want to highlight how well Tank Bennett has played this season. He's got 77 total tackles, which is 2nd in the SFL right now. 1 tackle for a loss, 3 passes defense, knockdowns, passes defense, and then 2 interceptions. And a great play right there to step in and kill this London drive.
It's going to be a long field goal attempt, about 48 yards for Norway. And it is up and right down Main Street. So London scores before the break. They go up 38-21. And there is 52 seconds left to go and 2 timeouts for New Orleans to work with.
Now we're up to 59. 59 total points in the first half alone. Just fireworks all day. 6 points pretty much every drive, and then finally got our first field goal.
No Way kicks it off. Arrington deep to return. And he tried to make a man miss and did not. That's Status Lansby, the wide receiver playing special teams, who made the tackle. First down and 10 for New Orleans at the 26, so they've got about 74 yards to go and 2 timeouts to get them there.
Yeah, I'd like to see a heavy dose of no huddle till about midfield. Then if you got to burn a timeout at midfield, go ahead and do it.
Gold back to pass. Pressure coming. He gets the pass away, and Yassine Clifton picks up 15 yards. And a first down out to the 21. They're going to go no huddle. Snap coming with 33 seconds to go. Gold down the field. Caught by Powell, and a timeout. New Orleans, they're at the 34.
Yeah, exactly what you needed if you're New Orleans. London brought pressure. Gold wasn't fazed by it, took the time, kept his eyes downfield, went through his progressions, and made a great throw. Double covered was Deezer Powell.
And I think sometimes people forget that Xander Gold was the #1 overall pick in the draft 3 seasons ago. Or rather, 2 seasons ago. This is his 3rd season in the SFL. I can't do math. So he has big playability. You've been seeing it all game. They're in the Hail Mary formation here. And let's see how the offensive line holds up. It holds up very well. They go underneath to Wolf, stopping the clock with 25 seconds to go.
Yeah, I like it. I like that route. Now you've secured the field goal as long as you don't give up a sack. You didn't burn a timeout, so you still have your timeout in your pocket. 25 seconds, 2nd and 6. Maybe take a shot deep downfield. Let's see what happens if you try to dial up the end zone.
Just one receiver to each side for Gold. Gold going to throw underneath again to Powell. Powell's tackled in bounds. They're not going to use their final timeout. They're going to take one more shot with under 15 seconds to go. Snap comes with 14. Gold pressured. Gold sacked. They're going to have to burn their final timeout of the half.
And a really tough field goal now. Really, really tough field goal.
How about William Davidson? Had 6 sacks coming into the day. He's now got 2, bringing him up to 8 on the season. Zen Lee is out there, the kicker. So Jose No Way hit one from 48. This one would be for one better. This is a 49-yard attempt for Zen Lee. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is up. And it's good! From 49 yards. New Orleans scores before the break. It's 38-24.
Just enough leg to get that one through. You're going to see it here. This might be a pretty good angle. Just enough to get over that crossbar. Didn't quite hit the net, but you don't need that. You just need the 3 points. So great job by the kicker there.
Both kickers saying I could do more than just kick extra points. Zen Lee and Jose No Way. And with 8 seconds to go, this will probably end the half. And it will not. We've got 4 seconds to go after the return by Donniehan. So I am guessing they will just run straighter up the middle and head into the break. Although the way this game is going, that's not that's not a given.
Yeah, get out of my head, Michael, because I was just thinking that. I'm like, man, if they hand off to Streeter, does he take this one? What would that be? 71 yards? Because that would be a crazy way to end this half.
Well, he is in the backfield. Roby under center. That Roby's going to throw. Roby's going to throw deep right. It's caught, but not breaking away is Donnie Hanson. They were trying to cheekily extend the lead, but they did not. We go to the break. London 38, New Orleans 24. It's been all offense all the time from London. As we head to halftime, your thoughts, Stephen, on a wild first half?
Well, I think everybody's first thought of this game right now is, wow, Reggie Streeter is just dominating. But I think some key notes to also look at is how many points New Orleans has been able to put up. I think pre-game, you and I talking about this, we maybe had put, 24 points for London in the first half, maybe, 10 to 14 for New Orleans. But, both teams have almost doubled that expectation, and it's just been points galore. So, I've been really happy to call this game. It's been a really fun one. I'd like the defense to maybe step up, make their presence felt a little bit more, trying to shut down these, all these points that are being put up. So, maybe a couple of turnovers here or there would be really nice to see. A couple of punts. We're not calling the punters' names very much tonight. So I think that's what it's going to come down to is in the second half, who can get the defensive stops and get the opposing offense off the field.
The highlight reel going on your screen right now is pretty much the Reggie Streeter show. He has 1 receiving touchdown and 4 rushing touchdowns and 283 yards in the first half. If he equals that output in the second half, at least yards-wise, he will indeed break the record for yards in a game by a running back. But that is still 2 quarters away, and a trend I noticed towards the end of the first half, Stephen, is the offenses maybe started to get a little tired. The defenses came to play at the end. You saw 3 punts in a row and then 2 field goals where the offenses couldn't even get down to the red zone.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be what it takes. Both offensive strategies seems to have been working pretty well. Exploiting the weaknesses of the other team's defenses. Now it's about who can make the right adjustments coming out in the second half and slow the opposing offense down. Again, Streeter having a monster day, but Xander Gold's coming out and he's finding pay dirt. Him and Deezer Powell have been on point today, keeping Yassine Clifton involved in the offense. So, it's still anybody's ball game. It's going to come down to those, that defensive, who's got the defensive mind and who can stop the opposing offense.
And Powell has 3 touchdowns himself on the receiving end for New Orleans. So it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. It's a 2-score game, 38-24. But with how the offenses have been so dynamic, New Orleans could easily make that up in 5 minutes or so, as we see Streeter breaking every tackle imaginable pretty much.
I think you can expect that to slow down just a little bit. Like you said, as the game goes on, guys are going to get a little bit more tired. You may not see that 3rd broken tackle, but then again, some guys are just on a next level, and of course, as the offense gets tired, guess what? The defense gets tired as well. But I think you're going to see some of those big gouge plays from Streeter. I think you're going to see that kind of die down. I think you're going to see his average kind of level out a little bit. It's already going to be super inflated, but for him to continue on, 300 yards before half almost, that's going to be tough to match in the second half. But we'll see if he can do it.
We are back at Queensway in London, England. It's the London Knights and the New Orleans Pharaohs. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, to the Simulation Football League. Week 7 of our 13th season underway here. And it's been an absolute delight to call this one alongside Stephen Hacker. I am your play-by-play commentator, Michael Chirillo. London leads New Orleans 38-24. The Pharaohs get the ball to start the second half, and it's game on again. The first 2 quarters had a lot of action. What will the second 2 quarters bring, as Aaron Arrington is stopped up at his own 28-yard line?
Big collision there on the kick return. We got a New Orleans Pharaoh on the ground. We'll provide an update for him. Shouldn't be too big of a key factor though.
That is Joe Davis. He's the 3rd-string tight end. He looks like he might have twisted his knee trying to throw a block. So we shall see what the injury prognosis is there. So Xander Gold back to work, trailing by 2 scores. And they got a jump on the first play. Free play for New Orleans, short across the middle. And I think they'll take the penalty because I think that play only went for about 3 yards.
Yeah, a little anxious there on the front seven for the Knights. Gold came out, used the hard count, got him to jump, and then, yep, penalty, and it will be accepted. So Gold's he's one of those guys that, he can get you, he can draw you off sides with his cadence. Like you said, he's a #1 pick for a reason. The guy's got a full arsenal of weapons. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing out there on the field. So it's a good job by him mixing things up and helping his team get a free 5 yards.
Bunch formation right. Single receiver left. That's Deezer Powell one-on-one. And he's going to look that way. And that is Yassine Clifton one-on-one. We'll get 3 yards and set up a 2nd and 2.
And I like that matchup. I like what New Orleans is doing because, London has shown that they're having a hard time slowing down Clifton. So I like splitting him out on an island and letting him work.
Nobody out wide. This looks to be Logan Jack territory, but they're going to throw a screen to him. He's got room to run. He makes a spin move and a man miss and gets a first down to the New Orleans 42-yard line.
And Jack's having to get involved in a multitude of ways. Again, the quarterback comparison favors the Pharaohs, but the rushing comparison definitely favors Reggie Streeter right now. But, Logan Jack's still getting involved, catching a lot of passes, still running the ball. His all-purpose yards on the day will be pretty good.
Handoff, Jack up the middle, gets a block and gets 7 out towards midfield. And I think it's important for New Orleans on this first drive of the second half to kind of slow the game down. There's been a lot of frenetic energy across both teams, and I think maybe a little bit of control is what the Pharaohs need to get back into this one. 2nd and 3 at midfield. Gold in the gun. Low snap corralled and thrown down the field and caught by Deezer Powell inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line.
Right where it needed to be. We'll get a replay here. We'll get a good look at the throw. So on the route, boom, creates separation. The other corner tried to make a play on it, Dean Maddox, and just a great, again, Xander Gold making a great throw.
And good corralling of the snap by Gold as well. That was almost to his ankles from the center. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Gold goes to his progression, throws out to Logan Jack for 4. Tackled on the play. Oh no! Joe Davis has broken his kneecap and he is gone. Unreal. It didn't look that bad to me, the way he went to the ground, but apparently they have lost their 3rd-string tight end. 2nd and 6, handoff, Streeter, or Jack rather, nowhere to go. Loses 2, 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, Lynn Shady steps up and gets a tackle for a loss. Again, the front seven for the Knights, they're a strong team. They got good linebackers. They got Davidson up there that generates a lot of pressure. So you got to secure your blocks if you're the Pharaohs front 5, if you're the offensive lineman.
Gold looking to go deep on 3rd and 8. High snap this time. Gold corrals it. Plenty of time to throw, then throws short underneath, and nowhere to go is Logan Jack, and it's going to be 4th down and 8. London holds the Pharaohs to a potential field goal try.
He's made one, from further distance, but it's still not a gimme. This is still a tough field goal.
This will be from about 42. He made one, Zen Lee rather, made one from 49 towards the end of the first half. Kick is on the way. It is good right down Main Street from 42 yards. So New Orleans closes the gap to 11. It's 38-27.
Yeah, good job coming out in the second half, getting points on your first possession. Again, like you were saying, kind of set the tone, get a little control of this game, try to impose your will against the London Knights.
And now the important battle will be the London offense against the New Orleans defense, specifically the defensive line and linebackers. Can they get penetration? Can they... Oh, there's a penalty on the play. It looked like holding. We'll see what it is after the referee tells us. As Johnny Hands potentially returns up to the 30.
Holding, number 39, receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
And it's going to be against the Knights. Holding, that's Ray King Ball, the backup running back. And if you like what you see and want to watch more SFL action, there is broadcasts all day today. A pair at 2:30 Eastern, then at 5 Eastern, 7:30 Eastern, and 10 p.m. Eastern time, all except the Oklahoma City and Seattle game right here on 11 Sports. And they're in the running power I formation with Streeter downing it. On 1st and 10 at their own 20, Reggie Streeter trying to get the edge, and he does not. He is dropped for a gain of only 1 yard.
Yeah, and that's what you need to see. Again, I think some of those broken tackle plays, I think some of that's going to die off a little bit, and you're going to see some of those averages, yards per carry, kind of come down, average out a little bit. But great job fighting in the trenches by the Pharaohs there.
Again, it looks like a play towards Streeter, offset I. He gets the carry up the middle, and again, nowhere to go. Good adjustments made by New Orleans at halftime. He only gains 1 again as Tank Bennett makes the tackle.
So these third downs for London, let's see what they draw up here. Maybe one of the Hands brothers or Trevor Farrell. Let's see if they can pick up a first down and keep their drive alive.
Because as many points as the Knights have scored, passing deep has not really been their forte this game. Roby is going to throw out to Streeter, and Streeter is buried back at the original line of scrimmage at the 19-yard line by Aaron Arrington, and New Orleans forces a huge 3-and-out.
That's a big play. It's a way to kill the drive. You just got 3 points, and now you're going to get your hands right back on the ball. You kind of killed the Knights' offensive momentum, and it was just a great veteran play by Aaron Arrington. He's been in the league 8 seasons, so the guy knows how to make stops and make plays, and New Orleans needed one there.
Kick away, recovered by Arrington, and he'll get to the New Orleans 45. The Pharaohs try to make a comeback here in London. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Back in Queensway, Michael Chirillo, Stephen Hacker on the call for this one. It's been a fun game, a shootout. New Orleans down by 11 with the ball at their own 45. Here is Logan Jack, nowhere to go, loses a yard on first down.
And DeAndre Washington, again, the guy knows how to read the gaps. Coming into the game, 11 tackles for a loss. I believe that's his second tackle for a loss today, so he's up to about 12 or 13 on the season. The guy just knows how to get in the backfield and shut plays down.
And this third quarter has gone by real fast comparison to the first two. It's already under 5 minutes to play in it. As Xander Gold throws to the near side, incomplete. Yassine Clifton could not stay in bounds, and the clock stops 4:36 to go.
For whatever reason, struggling a little bit on that route today. They haven't seemed to quite find that connection, Clifton and Gold on the sideline. But it's there. They can't get the catch and stay in bounds.
As you see, the two names in gold there, Evan Wood and John Jameson, are two rookies that just joined this week that are playing in this game. As a long throw down the field is caught in coverage by Deezer Powell and moves the chains with a 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, and even Arthur was there. Great coverage, shadowing Deezer Powell, but Powell just showed his veteran experience and, why he's New Orleans' number one wide receiver.
You see a spotlight on Yassine Clifton there. And they're going to spread it all the way out. 4 wide receivers plus a tight end. Matt Wolf is the lone receiver to the right. Goal. Plenty of time. Throws underneath. That is caught by John Jameson. He's the rookie I just mentioned that just signed with the New Orleans Pharaohs this week, and they're making a catch. If you want to go from the couch to the field, head on over to simulationfl.net. Join our Discord, and you can see yourself on the field next week. The next signing period is Wednesday, so get your name in there now. Here's a run up the middle from Logan Jackett. Another good shifty run. Moving through defenders, picks up a first down.
And that's what you need if you're New Orleans. Again, to piggyback off what you were saying earlier, control the clock, keep getting first downs and impose your will here and score some points and then, eat up this lead. And then hopefully you can get London back out on the field and force them to punt or get a turnover.
Another first down for New Orleans. They've had a very good third quarter so far. Pressure in Gold's face, and he just throws the ball away before he's wrestled to the ground by William Davidson.
Yeah, good pressure by Davidson there. Again, he's on the leaderboard for sacks on the season, so it's a great job by him. But earlier, whenever London blitzed like that, Gold found the open receiver. So London's continuing to stay aggressive on defense, but, Gold is a dangerous guy. If you blitz him, he can exploit that blitz.
Second and 10, Gold. Hand off to Jack, and Jack only gets 1. It'll bring up a third and a long 9. And chat reacting to Deezer Powell's catch from earlier in the drive. Some shout-outs for Xander Gold, High Flying Dwarf, Denver Nightwings, Jack 3D Gamer, and everybody else watching us on the SFL network on 11 Sports. That's twitch.tv/11 Sports if you want to join in on the conversation. Gold, 3rd and 9. Pressure coming, throws it to the far side, and Powell couldn't stay in bounds.
Yeah, and the route was there. I mean, maybe just a second too late to make the throw, but you saw the target totals for Powell on the day, 13 of 15. The guy's just a magnet to the ball today.
And here is the challenge from New Orleans. Aaron Arrington, the head coach for the Pharaohs, throws his second challenge on a catch on the sideline in the game. Let's see if Powell, that's close, but I don't think his foot was down.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to win this one. We'll see what the ref says.
And it will be out of bounds. So that's 2 lost challenges by New Orleans in this game. And again, I don't blame them for going for it. It would have kept the drive alive. And another field goal coming from Zen Lee. This one going to be from 45. Kick is on the way, and it is right down Main Street from 45. Zen Lee is 3 for 3, and the New Orleans Pharaohs are inching ever closer. It's a 1-score game on the SFL Network on 11 Sports. Welcome back to Queensway, where the New Orleans Pharaohs are trying to come back from a perennial 2-score deficit from early in the game, and they've got it narrowed down to just an 8-point gap. 2:22 remaining in the third quarter of this one. Michael Cirillo and Stephen Hacker alongside you for this one, and good return for Donnie Hands. Only had 1 or 2 players to beat. He's out to the 40-yard line. Good starting position for the Knights.
So in the first half, 62 points were scored. I think it was about 3 minutes left here in the third quarter, and we've only scored 6 so far. So kind of a different game here. It's slowed down as far as the points scored, but it's New Orleans is kind of taking control here. They've gotten 2 field goals on their last 2 drives. They shut London down on the last drive. So let's see if they can kind of keep London out of the end zone or keep London from scoring 3 points, and then maybe on the next drive for the Pharaohs they can score a touchdown and get right back in this.
London without a first down in the second half. Roby trying to take that, and Johnny Hands is gone all the way. Put it on the board. Johnny Hands is home for another touchdown.
Huge play, got 68 yards on a fly route, it looked like, and just took it to the house, caught New Orleans off guard completely, got behind everybody. Yeah, you see the safety took off and just didn't see Hands coming behind him, and poor Aaron Arrington had to try to track him down, and it was just nobody around him. He was 7 yards uncovered all the way in. Nobody was even near him.
Johnny Hands has his 6th touchdown of the season. That's a huge one. A 60-yard bomb from Rob Roby. And London extends the lead. So just when you thought New Orleans was going to get back into it, they push the lead back to 15 points. And, man, you thought all the big plays were stuck in the first half. You were wrong.
Yeah, I ate my own words there, didn't I? Just a little bit. But, again, I like the points. I like I like the exciting plays. So I'm not going to complain too much. It was just, after seeing 62 go up so fast, it was just kind of odd to only see, at that point, 6 on the board.
Remember to follow the SFL on Twitter at SimulationFL, and while you're on the socials, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Both of those at SimulationFL. Never miss an update, never miss a moment of SFL action. So if you're just tuned in and wondering what you are watching, this is the Simulation Football League. We are the first ever controllerless esport in the world where you could be a player on the field, a coach on the sidelines, or even maybe someday an owner of a franchise. To join our league, go to simulationfl.net and join our Discord server, and you could be on the field as soon as next week. The next signing period is next Wednesday. Here is Gold going deep to Powell, and Powell brings it down, and he's behind the defense, and it's an amazing tackle to save a touchdown from even Arthur.
Just absolute lasers all day today from Xander Gold, just threading the needle pretty much on every throw. And the catch rate for Deezer Powell is still really, really high. 16, 17 targets, 14, 15 catches. The guy's just eating everything up.
And that one in double coverage, and he got away for about 30 yards after the catch and sets New Orleans up in London territory at the 34-yard line with just over a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Here's a run for Logan Jack trying to get away, and you cannot get away from Slyn Shady as he's dropped for a 2-yard loss.
Yes, Slyn Shady on the season coming into this game only had 1 tackle for a loss. You see him drop back in coverage a lot. He's got 5 pass defenses and an interception, but I think that's 2 or 3 tackles for a loss for him today. So he's stepping up, making plays in the backfield for his team.
Jack, again, nowhere to go, and it's going to be 3rd and 12. Shady, another tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see, Logan Jack running the ball in the first half, wasn't producing the way that Reggie Streeter was, but it was effective. Here on this drive, it seems to be ineffective. Maybe start trying to throw to him out of the backfield on swing passes or something, or take a shot downfield with one of your receivers.
They're going to have to take a shot downfield here. It's 3rd and 12. Gold over the middle, intercepted by London. And coming back the other way is Nathan Blake. And wow, the tides have turned in this football game in the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, it felt like coming into the second half, New Orleans was kind of taking control. And after London scored the touchdown on the last drive and now the interception, it feels like that momentum is squarely back in favor of the Ninth. And for Nathan Blake, that's going to be his 3rd interception on the year. So he's a ball hawk back there making plays for his team as well.
You can see Deezer Powell on the sideline, obviously disappointed with the way that drive ended. It had so much promise. A couple of big plays to get him down there, and now Reggie Streeter can exert his dominance on the game. He's going to get 9.5 yards on first down, sets up a 2nd and inches. And he's still, even after the couple of runs for a loss and 1-yard runs, he's still averaging 26 yards a carry.
Yeah, it just exploded in the first half, rushing. So it's pretty easy to keep that average that high. But again, it's dropping, it's coming down, it's averaging out. We'll just give it to the end of the game, see what happens.
4's up in the chat. We head to the 4th next on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is brought to you in part by Nation's Best Football, helping NFL, college, high school, and youth players to hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, the official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, custom esports jerseys and apparel, and the exclusive SFL shop provider. And by SpyGoat, dedicated to the craft of audio. Aerial shots throughout the season provided to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage, and we get set for what could be a wild 4th quarter here in London at Queensway Stadium. Michael Trillo, Stephen Hacker on the call for you in this one, and it's a 15-point London lead, but that means nothing, especially when Reggie Streeter has the football, and he's gone down the sideline again, and he's going to be just slowed up enough to be corralled and tackled at the New Orleans 33.
Yeah, still a chunk play, a big gain for Reggie Streeter, but as far as averages go, that yards per carry average is still going to drop just a little bit. But just a phenomenal effort today from him. I mean, just keeps breaking off these big plays and adding to his already inflated total yards for the day.
I want to know a stat at the end of this game is how many runs of 30-plus yards has Streeter had as he gets a flare out of the backfield, and he breaks another tackle and then is run out of bounds after 7 yards. How many runs of plus 30 yards does Streeter have today? And then how many runs of plus 30 yards in a game is a record? Because I think we might have seen it today.
Yeah, I would say, probably about half of Streeter's carries today have gone for about 30 yards. So that, if that's not a record, I'd be surprised.
Power I formation, 3rd and 3. Handoff. Streeter gets a block, gets another block, and he's off to the races, to the end zone again. Put it on the board. Touchdown. Reggie Streeter has 5 rushing touchdowns on the day.
And I hear the chants in the crowd, MVP. This guy is just dominating this season and just, increasing his totals, yards, touchdowns, everywhere. It's hard not to vote for this guy. Just absolutely destroying the competition this year.
There's not much more that I can say other than Reggie Streeter needs one more rushing touchdown to tie the all-time record of touchdowns in a game. And you see that number on your screen, 955. That is coming into the game. He's got well over 1,000 yards now. As the extra point from Jose Noe is up and good. And I think London may have just put this ball game out of reach. It's 52-30. And when we got back from the break at the end of the 3rd quarter, we were tied with the highest scoring game of the season. This is now officially the highest scoring game of the season. Before, it was Chicago versus San Francisco, and they needed double overtime to get to 39-36. These two teams did it in 3 quarters.
Yeah, and just the firepower in this game has been phenomenal. Just both teams came out ready to score points, and it's been a show, But unfortunately for New Orleans, it's pretty much been the Reggie Streeter show.
Well, Xander Gold and company have the ball back for the Pharaohs offense. And you can't say they haven't done their job today. 30 points is usually enough to get you close to a win in this league. Handoff. Logan Jack brings a tackle in the backfield. Sheds another fun tackle, but the 3rd one gets to him at the line. The Knights defense like hornets just swarming to the football.
Yeah, I saw the total on the day, 355. So 355 plus 955. Yeah, he's up over 1,400 yards rushing on the season. So just a monster effort this season from Reggie Streeter.
Handoff. Jack, nowhere to go. And this is, just got a stat from our benevolent overlord, Commissioner Cameron Irvine. This is the highest point total that London has had in a game ever. And they've been around for a while. This is their 4th season, actually, in the Simulation Football League. Xander Gold down the field on 3rd down, and Powell's wide open across the middle. Nobody covering him. And they are now in London territory at the 45, and what looked like a drive was dead at 3rd down and 12. Gold makes something of it.
Yeah, and you saw some of this earlier in the first half, too, from the Knights defense. It seems like they kind of fall asleep sometimes, and left a premier wide receiver wide open. You had New Orleans in a 3rd down situation, just play tight defense, and they're going to punt. But instead, they give up a big play, and New Orleans now has a 1st down.
I formation. Here's Logan Jack trying to get away, but there is no room to run away from this defense. As you see the team comparison on offense and defense. This is coming into the game, and I think London may just bump up a couple of places on those numbers with their performance here today.
Yeah, total offense is definitely one of those categories that you look for them to maybe take a jump. Points allowed, they might fall a little bit after this week.
Jack couldn't get it done on 2nd and 9. It's going to set it up at 3rd and 7 as Slyn Shady makes another tackle. And points per game as well, because not often do you have a team scoring 50+.
That's right.
And concerning for New Orleans, they have scored 30 points. And I'll finish my point after this 3rd down at 7. 7 minutes 30 to go in the ball game. Gold throwing deep, and
Oh
it's
my-
caught by Deezer Powell, and he's going to walk into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the ball game. Unreal.
And just the 2 star players for each offense is absolutely putting on a clinic for how to score points. Look at the great route. I mean, the coverage was there, tight coverage, but a great throw by Gold, and Powell just takes this one to the house. And like he said, 4 touchdowns, and it's just beautiful execution from the Pharaohs offense.
I'm speechless. Like, this is one of the most insane SFL games I've ever seen. And by all accounts, it's kind of a blowout. London leading now 52-37 pending the extra point. And the extra point is up and good. We're going to take a break and come back. London, New Orleans, offensive clinic here on the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Back in London, Michael Torello, Stephen Hacker have been calling a fun one. It's London 52, New Orleans 37, 7 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the ball game. As Donnie Hands takes it from the 10, gets it up to the 27. You see the chat on your screen. Chat shoutouts go out to Stephen at Large, Xander Gold, High Flying Dwarf, Mexico City Aztecs, Zival 47, and everybody else. Sudo Nakai is in there. He's the running back for the Vancouver Legion. Reggie Sterling, I believe, is Reggie Streeter. Matrix is in there. Eddie Gage, Nick Castle. Everybody watching us on the SFL on 11 Sports. If you want to join in the chat room, head on over to twitch.tv/11 Sports Next. Reggie Streeter on the carry, 3 yards up the middle.
Yeah, 357, 5 rushing touchdowns. I know he's wanting to get that 6th touchdown and get into that record book. But plenty of time here to do it. I don't think the offensive coordinator or the head coach are looking to pull the starters just yet. Don't want to get too anxious or too overzealous with that. You definitely want to protect your lead as much as you can.
But they are probably just going to run the clock out here. Streeter bounces it outside, then gets buried under after a gain of 2.
Yeah, and letting the clock run here is a good decision for your offense. You've done enough work. You've given yourself a good lead. So now just kind of, try to move the chains, try to, eat up as much of that clock as you can and give your home team and the home crowd something to cheer about.
3rd down and 5. Roby looking, throwing downfield, incomplete. And that'll be the end of this London drive. I see a new face in the chat, Matrix. Welcome. Who's watching on TV? Go ahead and jump on over to simulationfl.net. Join our Discord server. You could be on the field for one of these teams in the SFL next week. So, welcome to Matrix and everybody else joining us for the first time as well. You picked a good game for your first one, as London leads New Orleans 52-37, 6 minutes and 18 seconds to go. New Orleans is going to get the ball back on a rare punt in this game from Phil Hunter, only his 2nd punt of the day.
And again, if you are joining us or if this is your first time watching, this total points scored this game is the highest scoring output this season in the SFL. So again, it's been a dynamite game. It's been extremely fast-paced. It's been really fun to watch.
And yeah, if you're watching for the first time, head on over to simulationfl.net. Get your check-ins in. And then you can be signed to a team as early as next Wednesday. First down and 10 for New Orleans. Going to be a run for Logan Jack. Jack gets buried under after a gain of 2. He's only averaging 2 yards per carry as opposed to Reggie Streeter averaging about 28 yards per carry.
Yeah, but if you look on the other side of the sheet for London, their passing yards aren't nearly as close to what London's putting out. So I think today it was just a difference in scheme and a difference of offensive play set and what the offenses want to do.
Gold back to pass, throwing short to the near sides of Powell. He'll be 1 yard short of the first down. Marker sets up a 3rd and 1 at the New Orleans 42. And it's probably going to be overshadowed by Reggie Streeter, but you cannot say enough about the performance today from Deezer Powell. He has more than doubled his touchdown output on the season as this 3rd and 1 is about to go down. Here is Jack, dives forward, first down to the 46.
And that's what you needed for the Pharaohs, maybe eating up a little bit too much time on the clock, but you needed the first down there. That was big. You didn't need to punt. So try to string together a couple more first downs and get down the field and hopefully get 7 points for your offense and generate some kind of turnover. Time is critical for you right now if you're a Pharaohs player.
4:40 to go at the snap. Gold over the middle, caught in traffic by Wolf. 2nd down and 3. Here comes the up-tempo offense for the Pharaohs. Pressure. Down goes Gold for the 4th time in the ball game. Now 3rd and 9. They're going to go up-tempo again. Everybody's got to sprint back to the line. 4 minutes and 15 seconds. This is a huge play. 3rd and 9. Gold, plenty of time. Throws underneath. It's off of the hands of the receiver and incomplete. It was almost intercepted by DeAndre Washington, but I think they will take a turnover via punt.
Yeah, and the previous play before the incompletion, Davidson was the one that got the sack. So that's 3 sacks for Davidson in this game, and he's up to 9 total on the season, just moving up the leaderboards here today.
Well, this is the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, with 4:10 to go. Going for it on 4th and 9, and they throw underneath, and Logan Jack cannot get it done. London will take over at their own 48-yard line, and New Orleans is probably without a paddle in this one. We'll go to a break and come back on the SFL on 11 Sports. Michael Giroux and Stephen Hacker at Queensway in London, England for this one, which has seen a record-breaking evening on the season for the amount of points scored. London 52, New Orleans 37. 4 minutes, 5 seconds to go. Reggie Streeter takes the handoff, runs left, gets some space, goes down the line. He's looking for history, and he's tackled at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, that's 2 great things for your offense there. Number 1, a first down. Number 2, he stayed in bounds, so the clock's going to continue to run. And London's doing exactly what they need to do to protect this lead and do what they need to do to protect the win.
Three minutes and 42 seconds and counting in this one. London creeping up towards the red zone again. Rob Roby under center. With Streeter behind him in an offset eye. He'll get the ball, and he will break one tackle but can't get away from the rest of the white, black, and purples clad defense. He'll lose a yard.
Yeah, take one away from his carry count. He's not 387 on the day. still reliable. The clock's still running for you, but I think that's maybe only his second or third carry for a negative yardage today. So just a phenomenal effort from him, and just a matter of time before you lose a yard whenever you run the ball.
Now, he had 2 in a row, first series of the second quarter, and then that one. And then that's it. Second and 11. Power I. Looks like it's going to be Streeter again. And he is pummeled again for a loss of 2. As the defense was all over it, that's Heath McDaniel the second. Makes a tackle for loss.
And we haven't called his name a whole lot today. Maybe got schemed out by the London offense running away from him. But I had Heath McDaniel at 64 total tackles coming into the game, which would have been 6th on the leaderboard in total tackles.
There he is. On the leaderboard in 5th coming into the week.
5th.
Tied with Cliff Hendershot. Handoff, Streeter, 3rd and 13. He bounces it outside. He gets a block and he's into the end. And history is made in London today. Reggie Streeter has tied the record for most rushing touchdowns in a game.
And we got to edit the old record book now. We got to make room for one more name, and that's Mr. Reggie Streeter, taking it to the streets with 6 touchdowns. What a phenomenal effort from him today.
And there's still 3+ minutes in the game.
Yeah, if New Orleans comes out and puts on points, we may see the London starting offense come back out on the field one more time. But I think it really depends on what New Orleans can do offensively here on their next possession. Streeter could have a shot to break the record and be the lone running back with 7 rushing touchdowns in a game.
I was wrong. There's not 3+ minutes in the game. There's 1:57, which makes it more unlikely that Streeter will break that record. And extra point is up and good. A small part of me wanted to see London go for 2 there and potentially get 60 points. But it's already been a record-breaking night here in Queensway for the hometown London Knights. 1:57 to go, and all they're looking to do now is just close this one out, send the fans home happy, and go into their game next week at Alaska with a full head of steam.
What would you have said before the game if I'd said, you know what, there's going to be 96 total points scored today? What would you have said to me?
I would have said, this is not college football. No, go away.
And I would have rightfully taken that because 96 points it's rare. So, I mean, again, if you're just watching or if this is your first time watching, this is just absolute fireworks that you're seeing on the field today.
And we are getting updates from the commissioner about stats. And after this play, I'll update you. 1:52 to go. Gold alone in the backfield. He throws down the field. It's caught by Yassine Clifton. He's trying to get away. He will get away. Unbelievable. Yassine Clifton has a touchdown.
What is going on? All of these points, it's unbelievable. Over 100 points on the day combined for both teams. And just a huge play. Xander Gold with a dime right over the top of the secondary. And great effort by Yassine Clifton to finish this thing out.
We are not sure what the highest scoring game of all time is combined. It's definitely over 100 points. This is going to be very close, if not the record. And before that play, the commissioner was talking to us and via our headsets, and Reggie Streeter is 13 yards away from having the overall rushing record in a single game. So that could happen, ladies and gentlemen. We are very close to setting a record here and an already record-breaking night here in London.
Yeah, and I think Streeter has actually come close already this season in breaking the single game rushing record. So, 2 efforts in one season where he's almost broke the single game record. I mean, the guy, again, just goes to show you how well he's been playing this year.
It is a recovery on the onside kick by London, and with less than 2 minutes to go, let's see if London trots out their first team offense, let's see if Streeter is out there. I see the first team defense from...
That looks like Streeter.
That does look like Reggie Streeter. He's in the game.
13 yards. Let's do it, big guy.
Handoff. Streeter almost breaks a tackle, gets 2. New Orleans calls their second timeout. Arthur makes the tackle. Clock stop with 1:37 seconds to go. I think we've run out of things to say about this game as you see the chat's reaction to the last touchdown scored by New Orleans. A long pass complete to Yassine Clifton. Streeter, handoff, up the middle. He is hit hard and put to the ground on a 3-yard gain. So he's now up to 5.
7 more.
7 yards to history for Reggie Streeter.
And wouldn't that be great to have not only be tied for the single game touchdown record, but also be tied for the single game rushing record? That's definitely a way to make your impact be felt as a player. And it looks like they're going to run the ball with Streeter here.
Why wouldn't you just run out the clock? Streeter breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and he's into the open field. He's got it. We have a brand new record holder for all-time rushing yards in a single game. It's Reggie Streeter.
Congratulations, big fella. Just an absolute monster day, man, and I'm so happy for you, dude. What a great day for you, and congratulations on being put into the record books.
That'll be the game. New Orleans out of timeouts, and they are in the form. I can't even form words at this point. They are in the kneeling formation, victory formation. They'll have to kneel it one more time. London will come away with the win. The final score is 59-44, and all the headlines are going to be on number 34, Reggie Streeter, at the end of this one.
Yeah, before, we're going to go into the highlights, and we're going to be talking a lot about Reggie Streeter. So I wanted to take this quick time just to praise New Orleans and their offense. Again, before the game, I said they had been struggling, but look at them. They came out today, put up 44 points. London has been just absolutely on fire. I know they've lost 2 games, but their offense has been continuously putting up big numbers, big rushing yards. And New Orleans seemed to have kind of found what was working today and got that high-powered offense going, taking deep shots down the field. So I want to say, New Orleans, it didn't go unnoticed. We did see that your offense came out to play today. It was just, unfortunately, again, it was Reggie Streeter's day, and it shows you what a premier running back in this league can do.
That is the ball game. Your final. A potentially record-breaking total score of 59-44. The London Knights win it. 422 rushing yards for Reggie Streeter is the brand new record of yards in a game by a running back. He ties the record of rushing touchdowns in a game with 6. He had 7 total touchdowns because, remember, his first of the game was a receiving touchdown in the flat. All the way back over 2 hours ago in the first quarter. You see the chat on your screen. They are reacting to the play that got Reggie Streeter the record. And I'm not sure what we could say anymore, but Steven, try and sum up this game in just a couple of words.
Well, I did see in the chat, the Mexico City Aztec owner said that this record has been in the SFL for more than 3 years, so at either 3 years or 6 seasons, to clarify for him. But that's great stat, great information there, and it was a fun game, high-powered, tons of points. Not a whole lot of defense, but just on offense, just explosive play after explosive play, and it was a great call. Great time being here with you, Michael Trullo, and it's been fun, man. It's been a great way to start off this day of football.
Yeah, you've got a bunch more SFL games coming your way, and we have an official stat from Cabot Irvine: 425 rushing yards for Reggie Streeter. He beats the record by 1 yard. It was originally 424 yards, and I'm going to look up who the player was. The player was Darnell Black for Houston in Season 6. So that's how long the record has stood for, and I think I know your answer right now, Steven, but I'm going to need your pick for player of the game.
Let's pick one of the kickers.
Yeah, I mean, both kickers were perfect on the day, so why not? Yeah, it's Reggie Streeter. Unbelievable performance from him, and that'll do it from us for our commissioner, Kevin Irvine, behind the scenes, providing all the useful information and bringing us to you today, and my analyst, Stephen Hacker. I've been your play-by-play commentator, Michael Girillo, saying tune in for the rest of the performances games today, and we will see you next time.